Act like men don't exist, they'll love you for it. I know that sounds weird at first, but let me prove to you how true this is. Men are strange creatures. We want you the most when you want us the least. But what if this was a concept you could use to your advantage? A concept you could use to put yourself in a win-win situation regardless of whether you're with a man or not. Well, if you stay for today's show, I'm gonna guide you on exactly how to do that. I promise you, once you understand the psychology of how and why this works, your only regret will be not acting like this sooner. By the end of this video, men won't even be on your radar, but somehow they'll still be all over you. This first point is really important. I want you to take this in. Your routine is everything. When you are acting like men don't exist, you actually do the job of keeping your routine no matter what happens with that man. The number one thing I always see with women is when you start liking a guy, when you start going out on dates with him, when you really are with a guy that is your actual type, you start feeling like, oh, well, I need to hold some space for him, give him some time to ask me out. Oh, the Saturday I usually go out with my girlfriends to go to brunch and do these extra things and hang out with my family. Let me save this time and hopefully I'll be 1 foot into my plans with my girls and 1 foot out with my plans with my girls and my family. And that way I'll be available if this guy wants to get access to me or he thinks that he wants to ask me out closer to the weekend. And you kind of just build your routine around, let me hold space for this man to possibly get the courage and the confidence to feel like he wants to go out on a date with me and ask me out and get some time with me. And just that fast, any guy that you start dating, and specifically any guy that you start liking, you break your routine for him. You might say, okay, well, on Wednesdays I go for hot yoga. On this day I go for Pilates. On this day I go to brunch with my friends. On this day I hang out with my family. And then all of a sudden this man comes into your life and you start thinking to yourself, how can I break up the things that I regularly do so I can spend time with this new guy because I want to prioritize him because he's the one that I actually like and I actually want to be with. Act like men don't exist. What I mean by that is your routine should never change, whether he's in your life or he's out of your life. The mentality I want you to adopt is, I don't care if he's in my life, this is my routine. If he's not in my life, this is still going to be my routine. In your routine, you are naturally going to have some free days and some days that you're not doing things. The days that you are naturally free based on your already existing routine, those are the days that you can give him, or the times that you can give him, that he can decide for himself. If he wants to get access to you, he can figure out how to adjust his schedule, figure out how to adjust his schedule to then get access to you. But your routine never changes. And at this point, if you're a people pleaser, your brain is telling you, but what if he's not available at that time? And then when I'm not free, then he's free. And when he's free, I'm not free. And then we'll never get a chance to. Okay, you never get a chance to hang out. So what? Act like men don't exist. They don't. Okay? Your life goes on without men. You don't care about their existence. Their existence doesn't matter to you. Your routine is the same. And in your mind, you're going to be thinking, well, that's going to bother a man and discourage him from wanting to date me. When in reality, a guy that really wants to invest in you is expecting that your time's not just going to be readily available for any man that comes into your life. Which leads me directly into my next point, which is decentering men. When you start acting like men don't exist in your world, you decenter them totally. As you begin to decenter men, you create this aura about you, this vibe, as the kids would say, where you're just so unbothered by the things that they do, the ways that they act. You couldn't care less. Ironically, this is also very emotionally attractive to men because men love selfish women. We love women that are unbothered, so unconcerned with us as men, and so concerned with themselves and what they have going on as women. Because it makes me say, you must have a lot of amazing things going on that you're not concerned with my life and what I have going on and who I'm talking to here and whether or not I text or whether or not I say good morning to you. And it creates the feeling within me as a man that the only way to get your time, attention, energy, and focus is to take action, because you're not the type of woman where I can just sit back, relax, and expect you to be completely obsessed with me and expect you to come to me and expect you to be sending me messages and expect you to be like, what's going on with this and what's going on with that? You have completely decentered me. You have completely decentered men in general. I don't really have power over you anymore. But ironically, me not having power over you is attracting me more to you, because if I don't have power over you, then who's really in control? Who's really running the show? Who's really making the list of demands that the other person is making adjustments for. And this is exactly why in my community, I teach you how to date men while doing absolutely nothing for them. It is the only place where I'll be creating exclusive videos and course curriculums to help you get your power back in your relationships and date men in a way where you receive from them without being stressed out about giving to them. Click the first link in my description and do the first lesson if you really want to begin on a life-changing journey. And if you just have a question for me about your relationship or situationship, go to the second link in my description and you can send me in a question and I'll respond with a voice message within 7 days. Which I really want you to focus on this next point, which is about your girl tribe. See, one of the most amazing the best aspect about acting like men don't exist is it gives you an opportunity to focus even more on the important aspect of your life, which is the girl tribe that you build. And understanding that building the right girl tribe will save you from so much pain, frustration, loneliness, even heartbreak. Because your girl tribe will always remind you that you are loved no matter what. See, these men will come into your life and sometimes they'll actually purposely be like, let me give you a lot of love, show you a lot of love, make you feel like we're really gonna be together forever so that I can take that away from you. And the moment I take that away from you, things get very dark for you mentally. When things get dark for you mentally, now I can be in control because I'm in control of your emotions. I'm in control of your ability to feel loved. Your girl tribe will not only ground you, but also give you an understanding of I am supported, I am loved, and I am here with people that know who I am, know what I deserve, and can remind me of that on an ongoing basis, even as men come in and out of my life and try to sway me, try to persuade me to do things and be a person that I'm not, try to get me in a position where I'm no longer focused on the person I am and the routines that I've built and the love that surrounds me. And I'm more focused on what is he doing? Why doesn't he like me? Why doesn't he want to date me anymore? Why isn't he sending me a good morning text? And then every single little minute thing that he does becomes the big center of your universe. And I'm telling you, with guys, sometimes it happens slowly. It doesn't always happen all at once. Your girl tribe is able to bring you back in though and say, you know what? I need you to remember who you are. I need you to remember what you stand for. This girl tribe, this is who we are. We're like the sisterhood of traveling pants, or is it traveling jeans? I don't know which one it is, okay? But that's the beauty of acting like men don't exist in your life, is that you put your priority and your focus on that girl tribe, as opposed to making men the center of your universe. And then as soon as a new man comes into your life, you immediately shove your girl tribe to the side and say, I want to spend every waking moment of my life with this new man because I like him and he's my... No. Your girl tribe is here and here to stay. You will never neglect your girl tribe for a man. I don't care how amazing he is. I don't care if he's 6'99". I don't care if he's so handsome and so sexy. You've never seen a man that looks like him. It doesn't matter. When you act like men don't exist, you hold space for your girl tribe to continue to be in your life in a way that will actually make your life so much better, whether or not a man is in it. For our next point, I want to talk to you about initiation because I want to put you in a position to win all the time. Not some of the time, all the time. And the only way for us to do that is for us to understand if we're acting like men don't exist, well, then the only way for them to interact with us is to present themselves to us and initiate the approach. This is exactly what we want. I only want men getting access to you if they're gonna have the confidence, the courage, the cojones to approach you and initiate. And when you act like men don't exist, they are literally forced to initiate if they want to approach you. And I know the first question in your mind, well, Tomisin, doesn't that mean that some of the guys who maybe I could have talked to if I approached them may not approach me because of this or because of... Yes, that's exactly what that means. But that also means that you're naturally filtering out the men who weren't really interested in you in the first place. And you're naturally creating a system and an environment where the only men you're even forced to encounter, if you're gonna encounter and participate in conversation with a man, is a man who initiates with you. And you'll be shocked at how much easier your relationships will be, how much smoother it will be to interact with men who have taken it upon themselves to say, I want that woman. I seize her, I want her, I need to go get her. And they take the initiative to go and get you because then what it allows you to do, simply by acting like men don't exist and forcing them to initiate with you, you get to make the demands. You get to say, I don't like what you're doing. you're probably going to need to make an adjustment if you want to continue getting access to me. And he has to say, well, yes, madam. If this is how you want it, let me make sure I do it this way. Is this how you want the kitchen clean? Is this how you want the pots and pans organized? Is this how you make the demands? Because he did the initiating. The men that don't approach you don't even register on your radar because they don't matter to you. They shouldn't matter to you. They aren't relevant to you in your life. Don't concern yourself with men who aren't bothering to initiate with you. Oh my God, I really hate this next point, but I need to share it with you, and I need you to listen very closely. The scarcity mindset will literally ruin your life. I promise you it will ruin your life, especially with men. I want you to act like men don't exist. And I want you to understand how amazing this will be when you actually start doing it, because it will rid you of this sick, twisted scarcity mindset that a lot of women adopt when they feel like, well, I was talking to a guy and then he kind of ghosted me, and then another guy that I slept with, now he's not talking to me as much as he was before, and then this guy, it's like all the guys, like, they always find something wrong with me, and when they find something wrong with me, they all eventually get rid of that scarcity mindset, okay? You live in abundance. Men are coming and approaching you every single day. You walk out in your pajamas and men are falling all over themselves to gift you Birkin bags. That's the mentality that you adopt. But you can only adopt that mentality when you begin acting like men don't exist, because you begin decentering them. They begin becoming super attracted to you and like, please let me get some of your time. And then all of a sudden you experience the abundance that you should be experiencing as a woman, deep in your feminine energy and deep in this attractive magnetic aura that pulls men in. But ironically, you can never be in that state if men become the center of your universe. I'm not saying you never think of men. I'm not saying men never cross your mind or you never watch a video about men. What I'm saying is when you go out into your life as the way that you take action and the things that you do for yourself and with your friends, you do not allow men to be the center of your universe. You don't allow them to control your actions. You don't allow them to change your routine and who you are and the essence of what you stand for. You do not live in scarcity. When you act like men don't exist, it creates a scenario where whether they're in or out of your life, it doesn't matter to you. And ironically, when it doesn't matter to you, that's when people recognize that it doesn't matter to you, specifically men, and they realize how unbothered you are by other men and by them themselves. And they start saying to themselves, why are you so unbothered by men and why are you so unbothered by me? I need to figure out how to take more action to make you recognize me and feel something and be bothered, because they only understand that you're attracted to them and you want them if they see that you're bothered. If they see that they themselves, the man, are the center of your universe, they're hoping for that. They're praying for that, because when they can get that, then they get to sit back and relax. Which leads me right into my next point. It keeps you so grounded when you act like men don't exist. The reason for that is because as you're dating any man, I don't care who it is on this earth, eventually, no matter how much attention he's giving you, no matter how flirtatious he is, how kind he is, how nice he is, how many gifts, eventually at some point, he will begin to dip in the amount of energy he's giving you, attention he's giving you, time he's giving you. That's just part of the ebbs and flows of relationships. What will happen a lot of times is when you're overly concerned with men and what they think of you and what they're doing and they're the center of your universe, you'll be like, oh my gosh, this guy that seemed to used to like me and seemed to be really into me and interested in me before, now all of a sudden he's not seeming as interested in me anymore. What do? I need to change this about myself. I need to change my hair color. I need to start going to the gym. I need to lose 50 pounds. But when you act like men don't exist, remember, you're keeping your routine, and you're keeping that routine very strict, meaning you're having your girls in your life. You're having the people that you love in your life. You're having all this unconditional love surrounding you and wrapping you like a warm blanket. It helps so much to keep you grounded through those moments of when he's giving you less attention, because it doesn't feel like that man is walking away or walking out of your life with your ability to feel loved anymore. Instead, it feels like, no. When you came into my life, there was all this amazing warm love wrapping me in a warm blanket existing before you came. You came, maybe you added a little extra little sprinkle. Okay, wasn't that much, wasn't that amazing. But even if you're not willing to give me that anymore because whatever happened, you're not as interested anymore, maybe you met a new girl, whatever the case may be, I'm still able to be grounded and I'm still able to feel okay. I act like men don't exist even as you're in my life, To an extent, you don't exist because I'm still focused on the person I am and the direction I have and the routine I have and the people in my life. I don't let go of any of that simply because you enter my life. That's the whole concept around acting like men don't exist. They don't ever become the center of your universe to allow them the keys to your happiness. For our next one, I want you to understand when you act like men don't exist, you're so much harder to control and subsequently more attractive because you're harder to control. And because men can't take you on these super high highs and these super low lows, they stop being like a drug to you. They're just a part of your life, right? They're a little piece of your life, but they're not the main thing. They're not the main dish. And when they can't take you up like this and down like that, they no longer are able to have anything to sink their teeth into that they can use to control you. When they can take you up and down like this, all of a sudden, you're very easy to control. You're very easy to manipulate. You're very easy to gaslight. What men also begin to recognize over the course of time is, well, if I want to get her attention or I want to get her to text me, I want to get her to reach out to me, they start to adopt the mentality that rather than me saying I'm sorry, rather than me texting her, rather than me asking her out, I'll just do something that I know will trigger her. Because I know men are the center of her universe. So because men are the center of her universe, if I just post a picture in a weird way or, post myself talking to someone or start liking that girl's pictures that I know she doesn't like, then she's going to reach out to me because she's going to be triggered by what I'm doing because I'm the center of her universe. Men are the center of her universe. And I know that I can control her through the aspect of taking her on high highs and taking her on low lows. So when I trigger her by taking her on the super low, by liking that picture or posting that story post, all of a sudden, I'm able to control her in a way where I don't even have to be the one actually taking direct action. For my next one, I want to talk about overthinking because when you act like men don't exist, it becomes so much exponentially easier to stop overthinking every single little thing that could possibly happen. Because like I mentioned before, relationships, they go up and down. A man's attention, it will go up and down. It is no possible way, no matter who he is, that his attention will stay high for the entirety of the relationship. But that will always lead to overthinking if men are the center of your universe. Because if you're only focused on men, you have no girl tribe, you have no foundation, you have nothing to ground you, you're gonna start to feel like in those moments, well, even if it's a little thing, oh, well, he hasn't texted me back for a whole 2 hours and I know he's at work, but what if he's not actually doing like a work thing and working on a work project? And what if he's actually flirting with Sarah from the marketing department instead? Because I know the last time I went to a work event, she has a really big booty and I see the way that he's looking at her and I know she wears those really tight jeans in the office. If you don't practice the art of not making men the center of your universe, it will be so easy to overthink every little thing until you adopt the mentality, no. Men don't exist to me. I don't see them. I don't hear them. They don't matter to me. My world is my world. Even if I'm dating a man, even if I'm married to a man, I'm here today. I'm here with my girls. Men don't exist to me. Oh, I'm going out. I'm doing this thing for myself. Men don't exist to me, right? I focus on me when it's time to focus on me. I don't make a man the center of my universe because at the end of the day, men don't even want me to make them the center of my universe. This next one is really important. You stop putting your life on hold when you begin acting like men don't exist. The reason for that is because when you act like men don't exist, you say, okay, well, if you want to come into my life and you want to be consistent with me, then you can be consistent with me and we'll allow the relationship to build, assuming you're the type of guy that I'm looking for. And if the relationship builds to the point where we should be taking each other seriously, then we will take each other seriously at that point. However, though, in the process of doing that, I am not going to hold space for you to basically figure out, well, do you want to be consistent with me? Do you want to put an effort into this relationship or not? And I'm not going to be like, oh, well, my life's not going to continue going on if you decide that you're not ready to be consistent. For example, right, if you're dating a guy and let's say it's been over 2 weeks since the last time he contacted you and you're sitting here like, well, I thought we were kind of talking, but I don't know if we're still talking, but I kind of still like him. So maybe I won't like go out on this next date and maybe I won't say yes to this thing and maybe I won't give this guy my number because this guy that hasn't reached out to me in over 2 weeks is kind of still in my life. But if he does reach out, then I'll no, stop putting your life on hold. Men don't exist to you. You keep going. You keep moving forward. Whether moving forward is saying, you know what, I'm not even concerned about that guy. I'm doing me as in I'm hanging out with my girl tribe. I'm hanging out with my family. I'm going out to places I enjoy. I'm doing activities that I enjoy. or even whether moving forward means, hey, if a guy asks me out and I feel like me and this guy are in alignment, I'm going to go out with this guy because I'm not going to overly concern myself with the fact that you couldn't be bothered to be consistent with me, that you haven't reached out to me in a whole 2 weeks. For our next one, I want to talk about detachment, because when you act like men don't exist, it's so much easier to be detached from the outcome. See, you are going to naturally feel invested when you get invested in a relationship and with the guy that you've been seeing for many, many months and even some cases years. You're going to be invested in, hey, I want this to work out. I want this to do well. And that's not a crime. But when I say act like men don't exist, I'm saying from the standpoint of saying to yourself, okay, well, yes, I might want these things to work out. However, if they don't work out, that's perfectly fine with me as well. And this is why I say the girl tribe is so important, the routine is so important, and never letting go of those things is just as important. Because when that guy comes into your life, that doesn't mean you stop adopting the mentality that men don't exist to me. In the sense that, no, I don't stop doing the things that made him attracted to me in the first place. Because he came into my life when I had routine. He came into my life when I had this strong girl tribe. He came into my life when I had this glow and this aura of being unbothered, that he seen me from across the room and he said, I need to go get that girl. When he came and he met me in that state, that was when he was the most attracted to me. I never stopped doing that. I never stopped being that woman. I never stopped embodying those qualities, because those are the qualities that made him say, I want to go and seek out that woman. I want to take action and get with that woman. But then when you're with him, you start to feel like, well, let me hold space for him. Let me make sure I stop doing other things to focus all my energy on him. And then you become overly invested in the outcome. And then even if necessarily maybe he's not your boyfriend yet, maybe he's not your husband yet, now you're like sitting here and you're like, this has to work out. So no matter what happens, I have to make sure, even if he's not the right partner for me, even if we're moving in two different directions, even if we don't have alignment with each other and what we want for our futures, I am invested in the outcome. So even if he's not pulling his weight and doing his job and his masculine energy, I will do his job for him because I really need this to work. This is one of the best parts about acting like men don't exist, is that you stop being a full-time manager. When I say manager, I mean feeling like you have to fix everything and microanalyze everything to say, oh, well, this behavior is not working for me. You don't text me as much as you're supposed to text me. And I feel like since you're not sending that good morning and good afternoon text and saying, did you eat today text, that maybe you don't like me and I need to fix this and I need to, no, stop managing his behavior. Stop feeling like everything that he does, you know, men don't exist to you. When you adopt the mentality that men don't exist to you, you say, well, if he's going to be in my life, he better show up in my life in a way that works for me. And if he's not doing that, well, then he doesn't get my time or attention, point blank, period. Because men barely exist to me in the first place. And if they are going to exist to me in any capacity, they better show up exactly as I expect them and want them to show up. I don't adopt the mentality that men show up in my life, or I dare even approach a man or initiate with a man and then say, okay, I've initiated with you. A lot of the things that you do, it hurts my feelings and I don't really like it and I need you to change this and I need... Don't manage nothing. Because at the end of the day, the men that you meet, they're going to decide how they want to show up anyways. You're not going to be able to control how they show up anyways. So if they decided they want to show up as a very poopy, very lame, very inconsiderate, inconsistent version of themselves, then they've made that decision for themselves. It's not on you to manage them and manage the way that they choose to show up. But when you act like men don't exist, you actually give them the space to show up how they choose to show up. And you also, very importantly, even more importantly, accept how they choose to show up.